In 2012, a small village in South Korea reported something unusual. A CCTV camera, mounted on a streetlight, captured a woman walking alone. Her long black hair hid her face. She wore a white dress. Nothing strange until the reflection. In the glass of a nearby shop window, her silhouette shifted. Not a woman. Not human. But a fox, with 9 long, moving tails. The footage was dismissed as a glitch. The authorities buried the report. But the locals, they still whisper about what they saw that night. And they have a name for her. The Gumiho, the 9-tailed demon fox of Korea. The Gumu is one of the oldest and most feared creatures in Korean mythology. A fox spirit capable of living for 1,000 years. When it survives long enough, it gains the ability to transform into a woman. Not just any woman. The perfect woman. Beautiful, alluring, irresistible. But behind the beauty lies hunger. According to countless stories, the Gumiho seduces men only to tear open their chest and feast on their liver or their heart. In some versions, she must eat human flesh to survive. In others, she does it for pleasure. Always, she leaves behind only a lifeless body, drained of its essence. And yet, there's something more terrifying than the killings. The Gumiho doesn't always reveal herself. Sometimes she stays with a man for weeks, for months, even years, until one night he discovers the tales. The earliest written mentions of the Gumiho appear in the Samguk Yusa, a collection of legends and folktales from Korea's ancient Three Kingdoms period. One story describes a 9-tailed fox lurking in the mountains, attacking travelers who wandered too far from the village. By the 10th century, scholars recorded over a dozen different sightings across the Korean peninsula. The details varied. Sometimes the Gumiho was described as a giant fox, sometimes as a woman with glowing eyes, but the outcome was always the same. Disappearance, death, a body found with no heart, no liver. Statistically, over 70% of Korean fox legends involve the Gumiho. That makes her not just a character, but a cultural obsession. And unlike many mythical creatures, the Gumiho never faded away. Even today, villagers claim to see her. Even now, CCTV cameras pick up shadows in the woods. And every year, men disappear in ways that can't be explained. Why would an entire culture fear the same creature for over 1,000 years? Why would the story survive through dynasties, wars, colonization, modernization, and even the digital age? Anthropologists suggest the Gumiho is more than just a legend. She is a warning, a projection of human anxiety. Let's break it down. The fox is a trickster animal across Asia. Clever, deceptive, always hiding its true face. Now combine that with humanity's oldest fear, the predator disguised as prey. But in Korea, the Gumiho takes this to another level. She becomes not just a predator, but a woman. A woman too perfect, too flawless. Psychologists argue that the Gumiho legend reflects male fears of betrayal, lust, and death. The idea that beauty itself can kill you. That love is a trap. That intimacy hides danger. Statistically, over 60% of Gumiho tales end with the man discovering too late that the woman he loved was never human. This is not coincidence. This is pattern. But here is the problem. Legends fade. Myths die out. And yet, the Gumiho refuses to disappear. Because people still claim to see her. In 1938, a Korean farmer reported a woman wandering the fields at night. She asked him for directions. When he pointed, he noticed her sleeves shifting. Not fabric, but fur. The next morning, he was found dead in his home. His chest was open, his organs missing. In the 1990s, hikers in the mountains of Gangwon province described hearing laughter in the woods. Not one voice, but many. When investigators followed the reports, they discovered shredded clothing. No bodies, no footprints. Only claw marks carved deep into the trees. In 2004, Seoul police investigated the disappearance of a university student. His last known location was caught on CCTV. He was walking with a woman in a red dress. She smiled at the camera, her eyes glowing unnaturally bright. He was never seen again. And then there is the most disturbing case of all. 2012, The village CCTV recording. The woman in white. The 9 tails. Authorities erased the footage, but fragments of the file leaked online. Grainy, corrupted, incomplete, yet clear enough to haunt anyone who saw it. The Gumiho is not just a story. She is not just history. She is still here, waiting. Today, if you search Gumiho online, you won't always find horror. You'll find romance, dramas, movies, pretty actresses with fox ears. Shows like My Girlfriend is a Gumiho turn the 9-tailed fox into a charming, almost innocent being, capable of love, even redemption. In popular K-dramas, the Gumiho becomes a metaphor for longing. She's no longer a predator, but a tragic figure. But this is the trick. Legends are rewritten, sanitized, made safe for the modern audience. The real Gumiho was never safe, never romantic, never merciful. In the original story, she is pure hunger. She devours without hesitation. She deceives without remorse. The danger of pop culture is not that it keeps the legend alive, but that it blinds us to what the legend was meant to warn us about. Because if you expect a lover but meet a predator, you won't survive long enough to tell the difference. Skeptics argue that the Gumiho is nothing more than a cultural construct, an ancient superstition born from fear, isolation, and folklore. Anthropologists compare her to the Japanese kitsune, or the Chinese hulijing, fox spirits who, like the Gumiho, are shapeshifters. The difference? The Gumiho is uniquely violent. Where kitsune might play tricks or fall in love, the Korean fox demon kills. Historians believe this violence was deliberate, a way to scare men away from forbidden relationships, or to explain mysterious deaths before modern medicine. Neurologists point out another possibility: sleep paralysis. Victims report visions of shadowy women, pressure on the chest, and the inability to move. Could these encounters with the Gumiho be nothing more than nightmares? But here's the problem. Nightmares don't leave claw marks on trees. Hallucinations don't erase people from CCTV footage. And sleep paralysis doesn't explain why multiple witnesses across decades described the same thing: a woman with glowing eyes and 9 moving tails. Statistically, there are over 300 documented reports of fox spirit sightings in Korea from the last century alone, many dismissed as urban legend. But some remain unexplained. The Gumiho, it seems, exists at the edge of reason, where science can't fully explain and belief refuses to die. The legend of the Gumiho should have ended centuries ago, and yet it hasn't. Between 1990 and 2020, South Korea reported over 2,000 cases of missing persons in rural areas. Most are explained: accidents, runaways, crime. But a small percentage, around 3%, remain unsolved. When investigators compare these cases, strange patterns emerge. The victims are often men, often alone, often last seen with a woman no one else remembers. One of the most chilling reports came from Jeju Island in 2007. A fisherman called his wife late at night. He said a beautiful woman had asked him for help. Her car had broken down by the coast. He agreed to assist her. Minutes later, he called again. His voice was shaking. He whispered, "She isn't human." The call ended. He was never seen again. All that remained was his phone lying in the sand, and on the recording, faint laughter. A college student named Minho told police he believed he was being followed. For weeks, he claimed, a woman appeared outside his dorm at night. Always the same. Black hair, white dress, pale skin. At first, he thought it was a stalker. But then he noticed something else. Shadows moving behind her. Shapes that looked like tails. The police dismissed him. His friends thought he was paranoid. So Minho did something desperate. He recorded everything. The footage recovered from his camera is short, less than 2 minutes. But it is enough. In the grainy night vision, a woman is seen standing under a streetlight. Her face is blurred by the camera's struggle to focus. For 30 seconds, she doesn't move. Then, at the 0:31 mark, something shifts. Behind her, the air ripples. 1, 2, 3, until 9 long, tail-like shadows fan out in the dark. The camera falls. The recording ends. Gumiho vanished that same night. His body was never recovered. And then, there are the tapes. The most infamous is the 2012 village CCTV file, officially destroyed, unofficially leaked. I have seen fragments of it, and I will describe them to you. At 2:14 a.m., a woman in white walks past a closed shop. At 2:16, her reflection in the glass begins to distort. Not a glitch, not compression, but movement. Her reflection no longer matches her body. It is taller. Its eyes are brighter, and its mouth opens wider than humanly possible. At 2:17, the tails appear. 9 of them, flickering, swaying, alive. And then, the most disturbing detail. At 2:18, the woman turns her head, not toward the camera, not toward the street, but directly toward her own reflection. The file cuts to static. In 2019, a group of hikers in Gangwon province went missing. All 3 vanished without trace. Only one object was recovered, a digital recorder half buried in the dirt. On it, a 2-minute clip. The first sounds are footsteps, heavy breathing. Then, a voice, "She's here." A pause. A woman's laughter, high, echoing, wrong. And then, silence. But not empty silence. If you listen closely, if you amplify the recording, you can hear it. A low, wet sound, like teeth tearing into flesh. The file ends abruptly. The police reports remain classified. The official explanation, animal attack. But locals know better. They don't go into the forest at night. They don't walk the coast alone. And if a woman ever smiles at them in the dark, they don't smile back. The Gumiho is not just a story, not just a piece of ancient folklore. She is a pattern, a shadow, a hunger that refuses to fade. For over 1,000 years, she has appeared in different forms. A fox in the mountains, a woman in the city, a figure caught on CCTV. And every time, the result is the same. Disappearance, silence, death. Skeptics will tell you it's nothing more than mythology. Anthropologists will call it cultural psychology. Police will write it off as crime or accident or misidentification. But explanations don't erase the footage. They don't silence the recordings. They don't bring back the missing. And so the question remains. If you're walking alone in Korea, if you see a woman on a dark road, too beautiful, too perfect, standing too still, would you recognize her before it's too late? Would you notice the shadows moving behind her? Would you count the tails? Would you look away? Or would you meet her eyes and never walk away again? This is the story of the Gumiho, the 9-tailed demon fox, a legend and perhaps something more. If myths survive because they hold truth, then what truth lies behind this one? And if you ever find yourself in a quiet place with only your reflection for company, make sure the reflection is yours.